Confluence whiteboards are great for things like brainstorming and taking down notes and collecting information. But I've also found them to be very useful for systems diagrams. Let me show you how. A system diagram just describes how a system is set up and how information is moved between parts of that system. This could be within a single system, just your HR system, for example, or it could be across your entire enterprise. How does information about a new hire go from your onboarding system to HR to IT, etc.? These diagrams are important because they give your team a map of how everything is set up and lets them identify where potential failures or faults might be occurring. This is necessary also for new hires so they can understand the current state of things and identify potential areas of improvement. Historically, I've had to use specific tools outside of Confluence to do this work, which can be restrictive for a few reasons. First, not everyone will have a license to these other systems. And this isn't challenging for sharing that information because I can pull it out as a PDF or a screenshot, but it makes it almost impossible for other people to update them. So having this information directly in Confluence means if you have a license, you can go and update the diagram as things change. Second, having this information in Confluence puts it in context. My team doesn't have to click a link and go somewhere else to see the systems diagram. They can see it directly with other information about our systems. I can even embed it directly in documentation about the systems so folks can get it right where they need it when they need it. This reduction in friction makes it much easier for my team to get the information they need and reduces the amount of lag time between them having to fix something and them being able to fix it because all the information is right there in one spot. I've also found these useful to have in Confluence because you can directly link to things like Jira tickets and Confluence pages in the whiteboard itself. This means if there's known incidents or known work being done, you can represent it directly in your diagram. You don't have to have a hyperlink and send someone somewhere else. You can have that ticket or page directly in there with everything else. So now that we understand a bit about systems diagrams and why they're good in Confluence, let's jump into Confluence Cloud Premium and build one out together. Here we are in Confluence Cloud Premium, and in this example, we'll build out an HR or human resources systems diagram. I'll click Create and click on Whiteboard, and I'll start with a blank whiteboard. Now, when I build these diagrams, I like to represent individual systems using the section. So I'll click on Section and just create a big box to represent my first system, which I'll call my onboarding system. I use this section so I can represent other parts of the system within it. For example, the onboarding system may have different modules or different components that I need to understand how they interact. So in this example, I'll just add some components, and I'll represent components with these squares. And maybe this has an email module, a database, and a learning. And it also processes swag credit, so someone can get a t-shirt or a piece of clothing if they would like. So here I have a very basic diagram for my onboarding module. By itself, this can be useful because my team can understand what's in here, and I might also grab Confluence pages that relate to it. And that can be as simple as just finding the page, copying the link, and then pasting it in, and we'll see it represented here as this white box. And again, this is useful because this links directly to the page. It's represented here, so my team knows, oh, I can get more information on this module. Next, I'm going to build out another system, though. After someone is onboarded, their information is passed to my Human Resource Information System, or my HRIS. I'll add some more modules. Maybe I have one on employee or EE information. I've got one on office information, one on payroll, one on compensation, and another one on offices. Now, these two systems are separate systems, but they do share information. So from here, I'll represent this information sharing or this integration with a connection. So this line tells me that the onboarding database connects to employee information. And maybe this integration is automatic. So on that connector, I'll put information about that integration. And if I have a Confluence page about it, I might also include that information so people can see it. This might include things like how this integration works, who owns it, etc. Now, I will continue to build out this diagram. Maybe I also have a payroll system that pays my people. So I'll just add another box. I'll add in payroll. I'll add a few modules. And then I'll connect my HRIS compensation to payroll processing. And I'll clean this up a little and then connect my employee info to my bank information. So this is telling me that employee information is passed into the payroll system, and so is compensation information. I'll add information to each of these integrations, and now if I zoom out, I can start to see how all of my systems are connected. Now this is great when I know how all of this works or when I can see what's happening. I can take this a step further though. I can add sections to indicate future systems or things that aren't ready yet. In this case, we're adding a recruiting system. I'll use green, a different color, to represent things that aren't quite ready yet. Maybe I have a candidates module and I have a scheduling module. And then I can connect these into other systems using a different connector. In this case, I'll use dotted lines to represent a future integration. And here I can easily see what's going to happen with my systems. These three are existing already, and the one at the top is being planned out and will be live soon. So in a short amount of time, I have a living document that not only demonstrates how my systems operate, including future build, but also lives in Confluence. I can drag and drop this somewhere in my content hierarchy to be with other information about these systems. So as someone is troubleshooting or building out the recruiting system, they can very easily see where and how it should connect to other systems. Having this in context is incredibly powerful because it doesn't pull people out of their work. And having it in Confluence means everyone with a license can easily access it. So that is how I have been using Confluence Whiteboards to design system diagrams. Whiteboards are available in every version of Confluence Cloud, but you are limited to how many you can have in the free tier. But this is a great tool to help you and your team understand what's going on. And even better, it can be a living document. As things change and as your team modifies your systems and their structure, anyone can easily go in and make adjustments to make sure that it matches reality. I also commonly include updating these diagrams as part of an onboarding task. So as a new team member joins, part of their job is to go in and understand the document, but then also go ask people how to go update it. This gives them a good working knowledge and also helps ensure your documentation is up to date. I am curious, so how do you manage your systems diagrams? What tools do you use? Or if you use Confluence Whiteboards, what do you think of it? Drop a comment below. And also join us in Discord. We have a great Discord server going on where people share information about Atlassian products. Check that out down in the description and also somewhere up here over my head. I also have channel memberships open now, so if you want to be a sponsor and help support my work, I would appreciate having you join me as a coffee sponsor. So thank you so much for learning with me. I really hope you found this useful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon. Me again, thank you so much for watching that video. Check out more here. And pop down into the description. I've got a blog with weekly content. I also have a lot of online learning on Atlassian stuff and project management. And if you need personalized training for you and your team, reach out and let me know. I'll be happy to get something set up for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you here again soon.